think I'm live. Oh boy. Oh boy. Hi. Hello. There we are. Hello. This afternoon business is just confusing. Hi, Sassy. Welcome. Oh my god, I forgot to turn on the unicorn lights and everything. It's gonna be that kind of stream apparently. Yeah, I didn't turn on any of the lights except for my actual that one. Let me see. Hold up, let me see if I can get Siri to do this shit. Unicorn me. No, that's not what I asked for. Nope. I have a shortcut, but apparently it's not working right now on my phone, probably because I'm streaming on there. So I'm gonna try it on my watch, but I have to log in on my watch. Hello. Hello. Welcome. Yeah. You can see how messy this area is now that it's light, because my husband came in and trimmed this I call it Dolores because I can never remember the name of the fucking plant. It's some kind of a tropical flowering something that starts with a D. I don't know. One of y'all probably knows it. Anyway, it sends off these super long viney shoots and it gets tangled up in the blinds. So he came in the other day and like trimmed it all, and I have not tidied up the dead leaf bits. So it's my dirty secret. Welcome, Leo. Welcome, Ashley. I think I already said hello and welcome to Sassy, but if I didn't, hello and welcome to Sassy. Lauren, hello. Yeah, you can see the sun. It's very exciting. Hey, Kat. Hey, Snazzy. Welcome. That sounds boring. Yeah, it's happening. An evening stream for you. That sounds boring. Is that Katya by chance? I don't know. I'm not sure who that is. You like my green jacket? It's my hoodie. It's my. I think of it as a teddy bear pelt. It's my teddy bear pelt. Yeah. So, okay. I don't have any cats today either. Nobody, I mean, I have one. I have 4. I only have one in the room, but she's being a butt dodger. She's behind my butt on the chair. That is Katja. Okay, cool. Nice. Welcome to the stream. We have a choice to make. We have a couple of choices to make. One is going to be theme, because I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea. I didn't plan anything for today, but we had a few ideas that were dropped in the Discord. So, one, do we want to do like Valentine's Day nails? Do we want to do Olympics nails? One of those two. So we'll pick one of those. Hold off on the choice because I'm going to do a poll. I'm actually going to do 2 polls. So the first one is going to be Olympics nails or Valentine's nails. The second choice is going to be, do we want to do magnetic nail art? I am not doing the fucking heart hack. I'm not doing it, but I will do something different. I have some ideas for playing with some magnets. So do we want to do magnetic nail art or do we want to do fluid art? Those are all of my options. So I'm going to do 2 polls, okay? First poll is going to be the theme. So, poll. Valentine's or Olympics. And just FYI, whichever one of these is not chosen is probably going to get done on Thursday. Okay, so it's not like it's not going to get done. It's just going to get done on Thursday instead. All right? So pick Olympics or Valentine's. Sassy, you're regretting your choice to watch stream in your office. The laundry is going and it's loud. Oh no. Yeah, I will definitely do Olympics nails. If not, if you don't choose it today, then it'll be on Thursday. Either way, it's going to be before Valentine's Day. I have a plan, design-wise, a rough plan for Valentine or for Olympics. Just FYI. Okay, it looks like Olympics is winning by a fair margin. So I think we'll just call it. I'm going to end the poll. Okay, so Olympics has it, and then the second poll is going to be: are we going to do fluid art? Hello. I need a poll, please. How do I do? Can I not do another poll? Oh, there we go. Okay. It was not showing me the poll option for a second there. All right. Do we want to do fluid art or do we want to do magnetic? Now, I will say my instinct is to do fluid art with Olympics and Valentine's with magnetics. But if y'all want the opposite, that's cool. We'll figure out a way to do it. Yes, I have a ring magnet. No, it won't work for Olympics rings. It's too large. I have several ring magnets. The smaller ones are still too large for Olympic rings, but that's okay. We'll figure out something regardless of what you choose, and whatever you don't choose is going to be on Thursday. Hello, bow and arrows. Chat is like Linry's mani picking wheel. Yeah, basically. I do let chat choose a lot. I also sometimes override chat's choices, though. Not often, to be fair, not often. But it happens on occasion. All right. Y'all seem to be leaning magnetic here. Typically more chill over here on the Superior stream. Listen, there's no Superior stream. They're just different. They're just different streams. Okay. Magnetic won it. I'm calling it. All right, so that was the opposite of how I was kind of hoping it would go, but that's okay. That's okay. I had a plan for fluid art with Olympic rings, and I had a plan for Valentine's with magnets, but it's cool. We're going to make it work. We're going to make it work. I promise. It's Superior for you. Yeah, I mean, the problem, of course, for Katya is that, what time is it when I do my regular stream for you, Katya? Katya, like 2, 3 a.m., something like that? If it helps, you'll vote against fluid art on Thursday, too. You won't have a choice on Thursday. Okay, so we're doing magnetics with Olympics. All right. Now, I do have, here's an extra level of challenge that I have basically decided for myself for the month is that I am trying to use all polish from black makers this month. Now, it's not going to be possible to do 100% polish from black makers. It's my collection simply won't let me do everything that I'm going to want to do. However, I'm at least trying to make it like I'm giving it an honest try, doing as much as possible. So like when it comes to the fluid art, I'm going to have one fluid art polish that is not going to be from a black maker because I don't have any fluid art polishes from a black maker. But magnetics I do have. So we're going to be leaning on leaning heavily on cracked and 1002 nails because that's what I mostly have. I have one magnetic. Actually, I just got a magnetic from Glitter Sis Studio. Let me check. Let's grab that. Because I feel like that has... Where is she? It's brand new. I haven't actually used her yet. So, oh my God, look at this. I'd never clean up after my streams and after my nail art, and it just becomes such a problem. Usually, if you see me with like clean mats in a nail stream, it's because I cleaned them right before stream. I cleaned this right before stream. Okay. So I'm going to do a little testing. Do I have a... I'm just looking for another white mat that's clean, but I just found my other white mat and it's not clean. It's not clean. All right, we'll do a little cleanup. 3 a.m. Sometimes you wake up when I'm wrapping up. Linry has like 100 people in chat. Yeah, it gets to be a lot. It's true. But there are also some nice things that come along with that, right? Like, at least from a streamer perspective, at least, like always having an active chat can be really nice. 'Cause it can get kind of weird if people are quiet for too long, if like nobody's talking for a long time and you're just trying to keep up the chatter. And I'll be honest, I was a little concerned doing an afternoon stream for the first time. I was like, if only 3 people show up and none of them are chatty, then that's going to be a problem. But y'all came through, so thank you. Okay. So let's get into the Nails Up display here. And I feel like this might be a nice frosty one. So this is called Pensive Skies Silver Linings from Glitter Sis Studios. Or Studio. She sells on Etsy. I think her name is Christy. And I was turned on to this brand by Ghislaine, who I think a lot of you know, possibly most of you. But she's done a little bit of swatching. Did I get any pie colors? No. You'd like to apologize in advance if you type in all caps. You're at work filling out invoices. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good, Leo. I won't assume you're yelling at me. I mean, I'll still read it as you yelling, but I'll try to keep it in mind. Yeah, the algorithm also really likes an active chat. Yeah, so I feel like this is a nice frosty kind of color. It's got like blues and some like lavender tones going on with it, which I think the lavender is not picking up super well on camera. but it's in the magnetic itself is like a silver magnetic or silver lavender magnetic. I don't know if it's like a dual magnetic or if it's just that the magnetic has like a silver lavender shift or what the deal is. Ghislaine is the goat. I agree. Hi, Yanelli. You're usually a lurker, but now that you stream too, you've learned that people that comment and chat are so appreciated. Yeah, I make an effort to chat at least a little bit on streams, especially if I don't see a lot of people chatting. I try to, if I'm watching a chat and I'm not seeing a lot of people chatting, I try to chat a little bit. Okay, so I think that's a really good option for one of them. I'm gonna pull some more magnetics. So I have. I for sure have a couple from Cracked. I think I have like 2 from 1002 Nails. So we will dig these out. Let's see. We got Icy Elegance. We got Jewel of the Ball. Seek to Disrupt. Iced Toad. I think that might be all of... Okay, I think this is all of my Cracked ones, and I'm going to just grab the 1002s. Is it just the one? Do I only have one magnetic from 1002? I guess I do. I don't know why I thought I had more than one magnetic from 1002, but apparently I only have the one. Okay, so 1002 Nails. This is Some Call It Magic. Do I have magnetics in those colors? Not from Black-owned brands. However, we are allowed to use cremes in with our magnetics. I did not make a rule that we can't. Hello, Sylvia. I have seen a magnetic yellow. I have a magnetic yellow, but it's from Monarch. Adrienne is extremely not black. Okay, now Cracked Iced Toad. Like, I don't think that we necessarily have to be married to the Olympics colors to begin with, but if we are going to use them, we can use them in creme form, right? Like, I definitely have a pretty good cross-section of creme colors. The only one I don't have is red. That's the only like large gap that I have, is red. I mean, I have red cremes, just not from Black-owned brands. So if we're actually using the Olympic colors, then I am going to have to go a little bit off for at least one color. But doing my best. Yeah, like she's as black as I am. Not. Seek to Disrupt is this one here, which is similar to Iced Toad, but not quite the same. And then Jewel of the Nail, I believe. Nope, Jewel of the Ball. Jewel of the Nail is a brand. Brain. This is Jewel of the Ball, which was a PPU, as I recall. You have back pain today. I'm sorry to hear that. You finally painted your nails after more than 2 months. Holy cow. That's such a long time. You have a serious shortage of brands owned by black makers, although you're not sure about your hoarding of one-off other than Cracked. Yeah, Cracked is like the only one I have a lot of. So I'm trying to branch out a little bit, trying to make sure that I'm actually like making conscious choices in that direction, because I think it's good. But yeah. So these are the potential magnetics I have to work with. So we can just choose one. We can choose multiples. Let's call them, I did not put them in order here. I really should have. 1, 2, 3, that's Iced Toad. That's that one. Okay. So I have them in order now. So for y'all, it's going to be numbered 1 through 6. Do we want to use just one as a background? I feel like I want to try and do some like something interesting with layered magnetics. I feel like I want to try and do some interesting stuff, whether that's going to be with decals, with layering. I want to do something interesting. Hi, Pinky. Ice Toad reminds you of the little green mascots for the games. Ray, you almost fell asleep in your meeting? Oh my goodness. So, you know what we could do that could be interesting is we could do like a base Skittle, or, you know, take a single base, whatever, either way. Use a seal glaze coat to like set that, and then do like velvet rings over top of it in different magnetics. So each ring would be a different magnetic polish. That could be interesting. So if we were going to do that, I feel like we don't have a black, because I've never heard of a black magnetic where the magnetic pole itself is black, but the colors are, what are the stupid Olympics colors? Blue. So we have one with where the pole is blue. We actually have one where it's blue and one where it's teal, but I think I would do blue. And then yellow, we don't quite have a yellow, but we have like an orangey kind of tone. Where I lost the stupid colors again. Oh my God. Black, we could, I guess, use a silver or something. I don't know. Green, we certainly have. That one's a green. That one's almost red. What's the red-green on the far right? This is Seek to Disrupt from Cracked. So yeah, I mean, I could choose like one color to be the background, or I could do a non-magnetic, but I like the idea of doing a magnetic in the background and then doing the rings as like velvet. That could be interesting. So I think the question then becomes, what do I want to use for the background? So the colors are not going to be, if we do it this way, the colors are not going to be the actual ring colors, but you are going to get different colored rings, which I feel like could be cool regardless. So would it help y'all if I do a test one to kind of visualize this? I feel like it might. Like, this is one of my test things here. Hey, JJ. Also, I just realized that was you that asked. I saw the question and not who asked it. But welcome. All right. So let's say now you're going to have to kind of ignore what I have as my base here as much as you can. So let's say we did a velvet. Oh my gosh. I don't know if this is going to work this way because it's so red underneath, but you get the idea. We had dark black magnetic polish as base for all. I don't have, like, I have black polish, I have black cremes. I don't have like a black magnetic per se. And again, I'm trying to avoid using anything from brands that are not owned by black makers. If possible, as much as possible, I want to avoid that. I'm not going to like, completely. I'm just trying to make choices that make that not necessary. Okay, so if we did that and then like, used a water-based top coat or whatever, and then use a different magnetic style to do like a circle on top of it, say with and like the bottom one could be done, the base one could be done something other than velvet. But like if I did the rings in velvet and the base in something other than velvet, or the base in velvet and the rings with a cat eye or something underneath them, I feel like that could be kind of fun. I don't know. What do y'all think? Does Cracked have a silver magnetic? It doesn't matter what Cracked has. It only matters what I have from Cracked. I don't know if they have a silver magnetic. I have no idea what their full library looks like. My hand is so steady when I paint. It depends. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is not. If I've had the magic amount of caffeine and food and sleep, then it's pretty steady. Anyway, that's an option. It's not the only option. It might be the most boring option. I don't know. They do have one? Cool. Is it like a topper style or is it... Do you know? Oh, I wanted to try... Was it this way, Ray, that you were messing with that? I wanted to try this. I need a different thing, though. Hang on. Ah! I forgot there was a magnet under there. Good job. Dark base magnetic with a light magnetic effect, magnetized in French tip style. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any to work with that are a dark base with a light magnetic is the only problem. Unless I, used a black creme base or something, or a very dark base and used one of these lighter magnetics over top of it. Like this over top of a very dark base would probably... I'm just trying to see if I can make the magnetic effect that Ray was showing on the horseshoe the other day happen. But I feel like I'm not seeing that on here. Oh, yep. You just have to be real close to the thing. So that's a thing that we could do. Pinky, we're still working on the plan. But we're doing an Olympics theme with magnetics, and I'm restricting myself to polish by black makers in as much as I possibly can. This could be cool. So if we did like a dark colored base with this polish done in that style as our background for all of it, I feel like that sets us up for something cool. Listen, Sassy, y'all know that language during a stream, speaking, I don't it good. The rings seem so difficult you can't even really comprehend how I plan on doing it. Listen, Leo, we're just gonna figure it out. We'll get it. It's Black History Month. You should send me purples. Sassy, come retrieve the purples. I will be happy to put purples in your hands if you retrieve them. But you must come to me and retrieve them, or get someone to come to me and retrieve them for you. That's the deal. I keep telling you. I have so many purples. I'm happy to give you. Okay, I like this plan. I want to figure out a dark background, and I want it to be a dark background that satisfies our other requirements. Now, the question is, do I want it to be a creme, or do I want it to be an effects polish? I do have a couple of dark effects polish. If anyone can do some magnetic bullshittery, it's me. Yeah. Look, it might not turn out good. I make no promises about that. Okay, hang on a second. Let me see what I have for dark background things. Bum, 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 bum. Steel Horse could maybe be interesting as a background. And then I definitely have some cracked cremes that would do the trick. Maybe like... Ooh, you know what? Maybe Midnight Phase for a real dark blue. That could be cool. I also have a couple of dimension nails. Oh, I do have a black. I have a black from Dimension Nails. I have a black creme from Dimension Nails. I forgot I picked it up when they were going out of business. And that qualifies. So, hey, Jules, welcome. Enjoy lurking. Magnetic base ingredient, then the art in velvet magnetic. Yeah, I think that would work really well, Ray. Aim low and exceed expectations, yeah. Okay, so do we want to do the black, the effects polish, or the blue? Let's do a test, shall we? So we have Cracked Midnight Phase, which I will put on this side. We have Dimension Nails Black Rhino. I don't know how opaque this one is, but I'm sure we can make it work regardless. I think it's a little bit more jellyish than my other black, but that's fine for under a magnetic. It doesn't need to be 100%. And then we have, this is Steel Horse High Ride from 1002 Nails. So we'll let that dry for a moment, and then I will try that glitter sis over top in the gradient tip style. I feel like any of these could work really well, so I don't think any of them are going to be like bad or wrong. So we'll try all three of these. And then the other thing is I have to figure out how to best do the circles. So there's a few options. One is I very simply hand paint a ring. Is that a Bon Jovi reference? I assume so, yes. The Sharpie rig is, in fact, extremely scientific. It's held on with, poster putty. And it works really stinking well. Because here's the thing about regular swatch sticks. They don't do the best sitting inside one of these, because the height, they're a little low if they're just directly on the base, which is not where you're going to get the optimal velvet effect. The velvet effect is best at the top here. And so if the top of your nail is sort of closer to flush with the top, then you'll see a better effect. Or like, if the base, anywhere sort of from the base to the top of your nail, you want it to be kind of in that range to get a really good effect. And you can actually see that if you have a deeper magnetic, like the 30-pound horseshoe kind of thing. If you have a real wet magnetic and you raise and lower, you can actually see pretty easily that you're not going to get the same effect at the bottom as you will at the top. So I like to have the nail tip closer to sort of where it's going to be if it's my actual nail, because it's going to give me a better effect. So that's why the Sharpie. And specifically a Sharpie because it has the little thingy, which helps stop it from rolling around so much. It can still roll to the one side, but generally speaking, as long as I sort of set it down carefully, it doesn't roll. And it's also wide enough for, to stably have this size of press-on is too big. It's the largest size in the set that I get, and it's a little too big for my thumbnails. So they would go to waste otherwise. So they're perfect for this. Okay. Now, I think we're probably dry enough for the next step. So you could print a velvet setup with a taller base below the magnets to fit swatch sticks. Yes. Am I thinking the halo method as an option for the rings? No. And I'll tell you why I'm not thinking of the halo method as an option for the rings. Because it's a little bit too large for me to... it's a little bit too large for me to be able to really make that work across my nails. And B, that you have to cover the whole nail to get that. Or at least have a large section of the nail dedicated to it to get that. And so it would be covering the base completely. You could definitely do the hollow or the halo style magnetic in order to get a ring effect for this. And if you had larger nails, I think it would work. Or if you were happy to have the rings go off the off the nail, that would also be fine. Like if you wanted them to not necessarily be, you know, all the rings fully visible. That would totally be an option. How are you number 3? Does it count the icon clicks as engagement? I have no idea. I have no idea what it counts as engagement. It might also be the case that, like, not everybody is counted for some reason. I don't know. And I don't know if it, like, carries over from one stream to the next. Because if it carries over, then, you know, that would make more sense. It can be turned off. I know I can turn it off. Can you turn it off from your end as well? Like, can you choose to not participate? Can we even tell the difference? Or is this magnetic so opaque that we can't tell? Oh, no, I can tell the difference. Okay. All right. It's kind of subtle. I don't know if you'll be able to necessarily see it. This, I definitely see slightly desaturated on this side. The middle one, it's pretty clean colors. You've got the blue, the purple, and the silver separating nicely. So that's where the black is underneath. And then on this side, it's just a touch more blue. It deepens the blue without messing too much with the purple. It's a pretty subtle change, though. Like, I think you can see it, but I don't know how much of a difference it really makes. Viewers can't turn it off on your end? You managed to make them really tiny and fit your nail, but you did it with a minuscule circle magnet on top? Yeah. I mean, it's possible that I have a rig I could make it work with, but I would need to do a lot of experimentation. I mean, I'm willing to try it if y'all are super dedicated to the idea. The problem is that then this becomes useless. We can't really do this. It's either or. You think it does average messages / time spent in stream. Does anyone have an opinion about whether we go with the blue, the black, or the silver underneath? I feel like it's such a subtle difference. Points are accumulated by emojis, comments, word count, likability, polish count, number of pets. I don't know about the likability. Number of pets makes sense, but I don't know about likability. Polish count obviously is gonna help get you more points. You see no difference? Okay. I'm gonna do the blue because I do see a very slight difference. And I like it best with the blue underneath, but like it's such a subtle difference. Which is because this is a lot more opaque than I expected it to be. All right. You looked away and you don't know what I did, but that looks cool. Well, I guess you'll never know. There's certainly no way to roll back the footage and find out. So, I have a press-on this nail right now, and it's like starting to disintegrate. I need to do something about it. But for the moment, it's just starting to disintegrate, and I'm not doing anything. Typically what I do when I'm growing out a break and I have a press-on there is I will oh dear, I just put a hair on that, is I will, as it starts to disintegrate at this end, which is where it always starts to disintegrate first from acetone, because that's the part of it that gets the most acetone exposure. I will start to file it down, like just like sort of buff it down with a coarse emery board, and just sort of try and smooth it out so that there's no like ledges in my nail surface. Until eventually I get to the point where, like on my pinky nail, I basically only have a thin, tiny little bit of the actual press-on left, mostly just at the tip. And then if it survives long enough, eventually it just kind of gets filed off. So the pinky, you can see how much the original nail has grown in, where that little line is. The rest is press on. And on the surface, if you look really carefully, you can kind of see a little bit of unevenness where the press-on starts. So there's like a super thin layer up in this area. There's a tiny little bit of a ridge here. But you got to look so carefully. And then it gets a little bit thicker as it goes out toward the end. I've like got to the point now where I get so many fucking little breaks, and I'm constantly swatching the stuff, and I don't want to be forever changing my nail length, especially if I'm in the middle of swatching a collection when I get a little break. So I've kind of got it down to a bit of a science at this point. It's not usually super obvious once the polish is on. You appreciate my commitment to pressies for breaks. Oh, so in the privacy settings under live chat, you can select appear on top fans leaderboards and toggle that off. Thank you, Sassy. That's good information to have. So as a privacy thing, if you don't want to appear on leaderboards, you can turn that off for yourself. I like that. Yeah, my nails are not super curved. There are press-ons that are more curved than mine are, than the ones that I use are. With mine, I do struggle with my index nail. With my index nail, I have to shove a bunch of filler under the tip. When I'm using a press-on, I have to shove a bunch of filler underneath the tip to get it to stay nice. Otherwise, I have a big gap there because that's the one nail that is quite curved. The rest of my nails are significantly less curved, and so I'm able to get away with it. But yeah, I'm told there are brands that are more curved this way than mine. You suspect you have a gel allergy after having a slight reaction to the dip last time you had a nasty break. Oof. Yeah, that's not nice. I don't like that. And it's so easy to develop an acrylate allergy especially if you're like already kind of one of those people that develops allergies readily. You got the ones that are more curved, but it still wasn't enough. That doesn't surprise me, Ray. You have much more curved nails than I do. Pinky, it's the C curve that's the problem for you. Yeah, some of them are more flexible than others too. Like I know some people will warm them gently and like either pinch them to give them more of a C curve or squish them to flatten them out a little bit. But there's a limit to how much you can do with that, and it depends on the the specific tips that you're using. But like, you know, the only reason I care at all, the only reason I bother doing this is because I'm swatching, right? If I wasn't swatching, I wouldn't bother at all. I'd just chop them off for the winter time. Because it's always the winter time. All right, we're just going to do a quick second coat here. Get rid of the patchiness. Make sure we have a good surface for that magnetic. Because we're only going to be doing one coat of the magnetic. Yeah, plastic has a long memory and wants to return to its original shape. For sure. Does depend on the type of plastic. Some remember their shape more readily than others. But yeah. Didn't quite get to the edge there. Last time you used gel, it acted super weird. Yeah, it's possible your lamp is going. I don't know. I own some gel. I have on occasion used it if I am in the middle of swatching and need to just do a quick repair. But I used to do that a little bit more, not frequently, but like when I was using patches rather than press-ons more often, if I was swatching and I had a patch, I would cover it with a little bit of gel to like make it so that the patch didn't disintegrate as quickly when I was removing polish. But I felt like I didn't want to be using gel even that often, because I am quite concerned about developing an acrylate allergy. And so I developed my press-on method instead. And so I use that exclusively now. I significantly prefer it. And the only thing I use gel for now is if I happen to have a break on my index nail. Remember I said that there's more of a gap there because of the curve this way. So the only thing I use the gel for is in between the nail and the press-on. I'll fill the gap with a little bit of gel. And that way it's coming nowhere near my skin, so I feel pretty safe about that. But yeah, I don't understand how people feel safe using gel regularly. Couldn't be me. I'm too paranoid. I know lots of people do it, and it's fine. Statistically, it's fine, as long as you're careful. But hello, Forever Exennial. Welcome. Yaneli, you want to try gels again? You stopped after you got more into regular polish. Yeah, I'm so happy with the regular polish. I just feel like for me, it's not worth the risk, but I get it. I understand why people want to use it. There's lots of stuff you can do with gels. It opens some doors. It gives you some available options that can be fun to play with. So I do get it. The one thing that really kind of tempts me with gels is the sculpting stuff. Like 3D sculpting. But like, if I was going to get into that, I would want to have a separate workspace with separate tools for it. I don't use patches at all anymore, Pinky. I just use a press on. I put a press on right over top of a break. You saw some amazing Gel-X nails on Friday. Showed her your natural nails and said you're not willing to learn Gel-X. It's so hard. Yeah, for real. Requires a lot of training to be good at the more complex stuff. I have a lot of admiration for the artists who get into that. What did I do with my... Oh my god. Y'all, I put my freaking magnet back knowing I was going to need it. What do you mean, how? I literally just shape the press-on to my nail, put glue on the back of the press-on, squish it onto my nail, hold it there until it's dry and cured, and then I trim away so that it's the same shape as my other nails. Could use the 3D elements after curing. Yeah, but Snazzy, I would want to make my own 3D elements is the point. I wouldn't want to be using store-bought ones. I would want to be making my own. That's the thing. That's the only thing that interests me with gel is making your own custom stuff. And so with that, I would want to have a separate workspace with separate tools. And then I would cure them and then I would apply them with glue regularly. Yanelli, you thought of getting a nail tech license, but only for you. You don't want to do anyone else's nails? Yeah, for real. I'll do nails for... I have a couple of friends that I'll do nails for. And I enjoy doing that. It's fun. It's a good time. But I would not want to be doing that as like for customers. I think I would be miserable. How does it hold for days? Ponks, it just does with prep. I don't know what to tell you. It holds for weeks, in fact. This one has been on for, let's see, it was just right at the attachment line. So about 3 weeks that press-on's been on there. Yeah, that's a thing for me as well, Katya. I don't want my nail polish to last more than 48 hours most days, because I always have either new nail art or swatching or something to do. So yeah, not really interested. I'm not sure how I want to. I think I will apply and then. And then magnetize. Normally if I have the option, I will apply on the magnet, but there we are. How far up do I want it? Maybe like there? The base blue, the creme, is Midnight Phase from Cracked. And then the magnetic that I'm putting over top of it is from Glittersys Studio. It's called Pensive Skies Silver Linings. Yeah, I feel like it would be a fun skill, but I would definitely not want to work with customers. And I would want to take a course if I was going to start doing something like that. All right, Ashley. See you later. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, 10 days tops. That's like if I'm on vacation. That's the only time I want anywhere near 10 days of a single manicure. I just... A fancy promotional video with the rings coming up from smoke like Gandalf. That's very funny. Yeah, I like this. It's kind of a cool effect. All right. Next nail. Get that so that it's in the right position for me at least. This is such a pretty polish. It's funny because y'all know that I don't normally go for purpley colors. They're not typically my thing. But this Pensive Skies Silver Linings, it has like a hint of lavender in it, but only at certain angles. And the blue and the silver in it are so pretty. So I was like, can I tolerate that much purple? Am I actually going to wear it when it's that much purple? I decided that I will because of the blue and the silver. I'm really glad that I grabbed it. Yeah, Peely for me pops. Well, it depends. So a lot of the time I'm taking the Peely base off while I'm sitting at the sofa at night. I'll just pop my Peelys in the evening and then do my nails the next day. But it's like, I don't know. It's usually when I've only been wearing polish for like 24 hours or less, typically. It's rare for me to wear anything for more than 24 hours. Yeah, I feel like doing your client's nails is a little different too, though, because you kind of have, I mean, my impression of your job, and do correct me if I've got the wrong idea here, is that like even though they are your clients and you are doing their mani as part of your work, they're not coming to you to get their nails done. This is like part of a suite of services that you offer that are like whole person support, right? Is that sort of the right impression? So you're like kind of offering a level of pampering that you might offer to a friend, someone you care about, but like as a paid support worker. Is that like, I feel like going to a salon to get your nails done is a very different sort of psychologically a very different kind of vibe from that. I feel like that would feel to me more the way it feels to me when I'm doing my friend's nails. Even though it's definitely not quite the same thing. But I feel like there would be more of that vibe. You have a Kathleen & Co. magnetic that has a blue shimmer base and a silver magnetic effect that sounds boring and basic, but the effect is really beautiful. Yeah, I have at least 3 different blue shimmer with silver magnetic that are somehow all completely different. And I love them all. They're gorgeous. And they're like, in a sense, yeah, like they're kind of basic in a way. They don't have like, the 500 shifts. They're not like, ooh, it's a whole rainbow on my nails. But yeah, they're gorgeous. So I've got from BCB, I've got Winter Sprite, which was I think that was like a gift with purchase a couple of years ago. And then I've got Queen of the Velbaran Faye from Bee's Knees Lacquer. And then there's Snow Place Like Home from Dom, which is a much lighter one. Okay. Yeah, I feel like we're getting the getting the effect that we're looking for here. So this is cute. It looks very frosty, which I like. Okay. I do still kind of have to figure out how I want to do the words. Rings. Do any of you watch Evan and Caitlin, or have you watched Evan and Caitlin? They're a YouTube channel that does like arts and crafts stuff. And they sell some merch. They have t-shirts that say words are hard, and I'm constantly tempted to buy myself a words are hard shirt. They also just came out with a new one that is art is suffering and I am suffering, or something like that. Winter Sprite was Black Friday 2024 gift with purchase. That sounds right. It does have a little more going on in the base, but it's still very much like a blue with a silver, but it's a bit more like glittery base, I think, as I recall. Yeah, I have the same problem, Sylvia. I don't love being touched in a non-medical context. Like if it's for a strict medical purpose, then sure, that's fine. It has to happen. But like I don't like going for a massage for pleasure. I like if I require a massage for my body to operate, then I will go to a sports therapist who will beat the ever-living shit out of my body. But I don't enjoy a relaxing massage. I don't find it relaxing. I find it stressful, anxiety-inducing, miserable. So all of the pampering things, like, oh, I'm going to go get my nails done. I'm going to go get a facial. I'm going to go do, nope, please stop touching me. Do not want. So, yeah. With my close friends, though, I have no problem doing their nails. I enjoy doing it. It's fun. It's a good time. But they also often come to me with, like, weird requests, or, like, just fun requests. Things that I would not normally think to do. Like, one of my friends is literally a philosopher of death. So she's retired now, but she was a philosophy professor who specialized in various different cultures, conceptualizations of death and philosophies of death. And so she was like giving a talk. It was post-retirement, but, giving a talk somewhere or other. And was like, I would like to have something goth and deathy on my nails, please. Like, fuck yeah, girl. Let's do this. So I gave her some Grim Reapers, some like ghostly Grim Reapers with, I actually did it with a magnetic so that they like kind of, you can only see them some of the time. They like peek out. It's really fun. Even medical. You have home health 3 times a week, and if they send out different nurses, your anxiety or blood pressure goes nuts. Yeah, I totally understand that. I think for me with medical stuff, if it's a requirement, it's easier for me to shut off, because it's not voluntary, right? Like, it's just, I have to get through this, so I can get through this. Whereas anything that's voluntary, I'm like, I don't need to get through this. There's no need for this. Oh yeah, bow and arrows. I don't love having the stylist wash my hair. The whole thing with the massaging and everything. Nope. I'll come with clean hair. All right, so what I'm doing now is just putting DRK seal glaze on here. So I don't have to worry about any future magnetization messing up the pattern that I've got on here right now. So as long as everything under there is dry enough, then it should not shift with future magnetization as a result. So it won't be able to be re-wet by regular top coat going over top at the end. All right. Yeah. Your friend was psyched when you said you could put pugs on her nails. Yeah, there's a joy for me associated with being able to delight a friend of mine with the gift of a very silly Manny with a concept that they've come up with. That, for me, supersedes any discomfort I might have with touching. And I'm okay with touching someone else with intention. I'm just not okay with receiving touch when it's not like for a specific purpose that I think is important. You get a lot of stimuli that are registered as painful when they're not supposed to. Yeah, I get it, Leo. I get it. But yeah, it is like, it's delightful. It's delightful to be able to delight someone. It brings me immense joy to be able to give someone a moment of like squealing about how cool their nails are. That's fucking great. That's fun. That's fun as shit. I have a friend who requested the other day. She was like, and she's like a very, she's rich. She's sort of a little bit kind of high class. She hangs out with people who have money. And so to some extent, she likes to sort of present a little bit of a veneer of civility. But she was like, I want to have something on my nails that says fuck ice without saying fuck ice. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, I got you. We'll figure out something. Come on over. We'll do your nails. Haven't figured out the exact design yet. But you know, we'll give her a little bit of a fun time. She doesn't like going to salons to get her nails done. Is she from Potomac? No. No, she's a Balmer girl. I'm enjoying these so far. All right. So how are we gonna do the rings? Are we gonna literally just do velvet rings? Because that's totally an option that I am down for, where I can just like hand paint the little rings. Where'd my Nano go? Is that the new Nano? I think that's the new Nano. I don't want to break out the new Nano yet. Hello? That's not it at all. That's not even one of those. That's Omega. Not Omega. Get your frickin'... Oh, no. Okay. No, that's the Nano right there. That's the old Nano. All right. We're good. We're good. We got him. We got everything under control. What did I figure out for her? I haven't done it yet. I think I might do like some dripping icicles so that there's like a little bit of plausible deniability, but if she feels like she's in a safe space, she can tell someone what it means. So I'm thinking, so one option is to just straight up paint the rings while in the velvet rig. This is a thing I can do. Oh, I did a really bad job there, but that's one option. My only concern with this is there going to be enough pigment that you'll really see the velvet, like the actual magnetic color in the velvet? Probably at least some of the time. I would need to make them thick enough that we're going to see them. So that's one option. Another option would be to paint them as just like whole circles and have it be a little bit abstracted, which would give you more of the color payoff. So in that case, it would be like, I'm gonna need more polish here. In that case, it would be like, do it as a flat circle, and then what I would probably do is have the ones that overlap each other mix the two magnetic colors or something. Or actually, what I could do is do a completely separate magnetic color in the overlap section. So if I did like a flat circle like this, and then if I had, say, iced toad beside that, so like if iced toad was and I'm going to have to figure out the spacing here. I'm not looking at reference right now for the Olympic logo because I can't remember exactly how much the rings overlap. This is probably not enough overlap for them, but just bear with me here because we're just figuring out the concept here. I definitely did not overlap them enough, but that's okay. We'll just pretend that this is round. And then we could have, for the overlap area, we could have like a completely separate color. It won't look as shitty as this though, I promise. So like that kind of a thing. But with the overlap actually in the correct shape and with the the rings closer together. So that could be an option. You've been putting backings on the MDU plates? Yeah, would it be easier to remove the remaining adhesive, or is it easier to like just put a layer of something over top of it, I wonder? I feel like that's the constant exposure to acetone is just a thing you would have to sort of be mindful of when you're cleaning. Try and reduce it as much as possible. But I think that's likely an issue with any plate. Like I think even the commercial ones, probably you do have to think about that. So the other option is hole punches. I could do, let me find my circle hole cutters. Okay, so I've got my circle hole cutters. I could make decals. And then like, hello, it would probably help if you put it in the correct section. There we go. Where did you go? Oh, you're so thin. You're still stuck in there. So I could make decals, apply them to the nail, velvetize them once they're on the nail. I kind of don't mind that option, actually. That might be interesting. The other thing with that is that we could, in theory, instead of doing them velvet, we could do them with refrigerator magnets. What if we did them with refrigerator magnets? Is that too weird? That might be too weird. I don't know. What do you think? Y'all know about the refrigerator magnet nonsense, I'm sure. When they do the stripies. That might be too weird. Everything is everything. Well, that's the question, Yaneli. Are we going to make the circles velvet? Making the circles velvet is easy. If that's what we want to do. That's like the easiest thing. The question is, do we want rings that are velvet? Do we want hole filled in circles that are velvet? Do we want to do something else weird? Am I just going to make an executive decision? Let me look up the rings. Olympic rings. Here we are. There's a hair. The other question is, do I have a stamp with rings on it? Which is worth asking. I'm going to just check. I don't think I do, but I might. Ah! Do not fuck up your nails at this point, Peggy. Do not. I have gears. That's not a ring. I have a circle. That's not a ring. I have planets, but they have other weird shit happening with them. More circles that are not rings. More circles that are not rings. I got a fun little wonky circle. That's a little too weird. Get a straw, dip it in the polish, have a silicone mat or jelly stamper on a magnet to velvetize, and use the decals. I've tried using a straw, and I've never managed to get it to work well. I believe that someone who isn't me could make it work, but for some reason, hacks like that never seem to work for me. Although, maybe if I used a paper straw, because they're thicker, I think I have some paper straws downstairs. A paper straw might actually work. I have rings! I have rings! Okay, how's the size of that? Could I make that ring work? There's these ones are smaller. I could just take the stems off of them. This one, let me test this and see how big, because I do have the shrinker too. I have the shrinker. I could shrink them. If I use the shrinker, they're all the same size. And then I've done the I've done the seal glaze, so I can use regular top coat to magnetize them. Yeah, Lantern and Wren to the rescue. All right. All right. I do think shrinking is going to be the thing, though, because we need to be able to fit 5 rings. And I think I'm going to be happier with it if they are a little smaller. What the heck is the shrinker? Yaneli, you don't know? Oh, yeah. They're not. Those could actually work. Those are actually the right size and could actually work as is. Although the only problem is those would have to be all the same color, and I do want them to be separate colors. So we'll use the separate ones. That, because, I mean, technically you could do it, but it would be a little more challenging. But if you wanted to do that all one color or like just a gradient, that would work really, really well. But yeah, I'm going to do this with the shrinker. Okay, the shrinker, Yaneli, I'm going to blow your mind. The shrinker is this thing here. So what you do is this part here dials up and down as you rotate the base. Okay, so it's attached right now, but it's at the lowest level. As I dial it up, it makes this balloon out. And so it actually makes this surface a little bit larger. It stretches this surface. And so if you stamp that now, and then if you stamp it while it's large, and then you actually just remove it entirely, it shrinks it back down. As long as you do it while the polish is still pretty wet, it shrinks down nicely without wrinkling or anything, and then you can just apply it to your nail. You can also do the opposite. You can expand, you can make it larger, but it's a little harder because when you make it larger, you can't take it off of the mount in order to apply it, so you have to apply it this way. And it's a little harder to like line up because you got this big thing in the way. Yeah, it is magic for people with small nails for sure. And it can also be handy for people with larger nails. Although, as I said, the thing being in the way makes it a little bit challenging. What in the deodorant stick mechanism? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Hopefully all these magnetics stamp well. I have faith. I believe that this is going to work. We're going to move some shit. I'm going to get a piece of paper towel down. Get myself set up for some stamping. Stamping. All right, let's move everything. Did y'all also see the hack with stamping with your 30-pound magnet, where if you have the like rectangular this style of stamper, you can actually take the stamper head out and set it between the sides of the horseshoe magnet and then stamp it like that. It would probably work with this as well, actually. Yeah. Yeah, so you could do it with this one as well. It might just require a little bit of finagling to squish it in there nicely. But yeah, so you can actually pick up your stamp with that, and it's gonna velvetize immediately. And then you stamp it; it's already velvet. You don't have to do anything else. which I think is brilliant, but because I want to be able to resize this, I will not be using that hack today. Yes, the resizer, Katja is making an excellent point here. The resizer struggles a little bit with squares and straight lines because it will distort slightly, especially if it's a larger thing. The further it, like, if you're small and in the center, then it doesn't distort much. But if it's, coming off the edge or something, it's going to distort more around the sides of the image. But yeah, just call it Impressionism and move on. Okay, so we have this. I'm going to not reach with my wet nails. Gonna do a quick little acetone in this spot. Just to make sure that she is clean. Oh, I lost my Dodgers. She is snuffling and snorfling. But nobody is going to any of the places where I can set up the cat cam, which is very sad. All right, let's see here. Let's try Jewel of the Ball first. So, first thing I'm going to do to prep is I'm going to dial this up so that it's ready to go. And then try and get everything out of the way. This is a little bit on the sheer side. Hopefully it will work. Hopefully. I don't know. It's a little sheer, y'all. It's a little sheer. Yeah, that's pretty sheer. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and stamp it anyway. Although, you know what? I wonder if I even want it to be... Do I even want it shrunk? So I don't know if y'all can see, you can't see, the size of that next to my nail. I wonder if I actually want to keep it the regular size. Now that I'm seeing it shrunk, I'm kind of feeling like maybe the regular size is actually better, even if it does go off the nail a little bit. And the reason I'm wondering about that is because if they're overlapping, I don't want them to be overlapping like right in the middle, because then they're going to only go like part way across the nail, right? So maybe I want to do the regular size. Maybe I want to do the regular size, y'all. That was way more polished than I needed on there. Just saying. Where's my regular stamper? It is real sheer. Still, you know what I can do too is I can use the stamped thing as like a guide for where if I can see it, if it's visible at all. Oh my God, it's so sheer. It is absolutely almost invisible. It's like 99% invisible. Well, that's unfortunate. We might need to rethink this plan. Spooky Mouse, the purple is base of Cracked Midnight Phase with nope, where are you? Glittersis Pensive Skies Silver Linings, done magnetized in sort of the French tip style. Is the circle in the room with us? Yeah. Yeah, it really disappeared completely. So that plan is unfortunately not going to work. Now, I think before we move forward, we need to do a test. Okay? So we're going to be patient. We're going to be patient, y'all. We're going to do a test. We're going to test the exact combo I have on my nails. And then we're going to try different colors over it. Different magnetics over it with the just hand painted. God, words. Why are words? Just hand painting the ring. Okay. And then versus stamping the ring. I want to try both, I think. Gotta head back to work. All right. We'll see you later. I'll be on as usual on Thursday night as well. Can you ditch the rings and put skaters, skiers, and luge? I mean, I could. But I really want to do a basically all magnetics art design. That's sort of what I had in my mind, and I'm not ready to abandon that just yet. And that won't really work with doing more detailed stuff like that. So, plus we're like, we're already a fair bit into this stream, y'all. I do have stuff I need to do today besides this. All right. Yeah, I know you're trying to solve a problem. I get it. I appreciate the suggestions. I've set up extra challenges for myself is the thing, and I'm sort of determined to try to tough it out through those extra challenges. Okay. So if I... do not ding, please. Do not ding. Dry quickly. So one thing I want to figure out is if any of them will be visible if they're stamped. And the other thing I want to figure out is if they will be visible if they are painted on, if it's just the sheerness of stamping that's causing a problem, or if it's a contrast issue, or both. So, what I think I'm going to do is use one of these other, or a couple of these other longer things here. Whoop, that was a lot more than I intended to put down there. All right. That one probably won't stamp. This one should. All right, let's try this. And have this handy. And then we'll just stamp that over there. Yeah, okay. So, like, it's real faint. The most visible is the 1002 nails on this side, the darkest one. Although it sort of depends on which way the light is going. It disappears against the blue background sometimes. Okay, so then the other question is, how do these fare if I hand paint them on? So let's answer that question next. Delightful experimentation in progress. I'm not going to worry too much about getting these round. I'm more concerned about visibility. Okay. I mean, that seems reasonably visible. I have a feeling it's going to end up being mostly a sheerness issue that we're having with the stamping. Which, if that's the case, I can do the design with the stamps to get them round and then hand paint over that to get the opacity, which might be a little easier. Did that one. I did that. I did not do this one. If you can make gorgeous Olympic rings, then I can do it too. I mean, we don't have the same skill set. You're super good at doing all kinds of stuff that I struggle with, so you don't know. Maybe I can't. But I appreciate the faith. All right. I feel like it's a sheerness issue mostly that we're having with the stamping, because these seem to be showing up okay. They seem to be showing up okay. I feel like this is working reasonably well. And then I think maybe the best course of action is simply to start with stamped rings to get the correct shape, and then paint over top of them to get the density. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one didn't I use? Icy Elegance? I guess maybe I didn't use Icy Elegance. I just want to make sure that all of them will show up. Icy Elegance is a little more similar to the base. It's not the same, but it's more similar. Hello. A cat just jumped back up on my lap. Oh, that's a real bad ring. That's like a freaking little triangle. All right. That's what you had when you stamped a magnetic over a thermal. Very visible over the dark state, but the light state didn't show up much at all. Yeah, that's always an issue. I feel like this will work if I just do the stamping first to get everything set up properly. And then so I want to use whichever one is the most visible when stamped as my base, which I feel like might be like Iced Toad. Iced Toad is fairly visible. Okay. All right, I think we have a plan, y'all. I think we have a plan. Testing has in fact happened. Yes. Because there was some unexpected problems. So But that's okay. We've tested, we're recovering. And I think we can still make this work. So I hope that the spawn is well. And if he is with you at this time, then please tell Kevin I said hello. And if he's not with you, then you can tell him later. Oh my goodness, there's a hair on that. I do not want that. There we go. All right. So get that circle. So this one I'm going to mark. This will be the upper, and I'm going to mark it in the center of this nail. And then we're going to go out from there. So that one is at least slightly visible. I don't know how well y'all can see it on there. I think you can see it a little bit at some angles at least. But it's enough for me that I can see it to paint over it with whatever color I choose to paint over it with. So we're gonna make this work. Unexpected learning moments indeed. All right, now this I want to do slightly off to that side. I'm not going to worry about the fact that it's gone off the edge. Yeah, that looks about right. I think I might have gone a little high, but that's all right. I'm not too worried about that. Okay. And then on this side, slightly closer together than they're supposed to be, but meh. That's okay. That's okay. We can probably fix that a little bit when we go over it with the actual colors that we're going to be using. All right. And then almost. Oh, fuck. All right, well, that's okay. Because I'm going to be using this for the other side of this. And I'm going to align it such that it comes over a little more than it actually would. Because I want to be able to use... I want to be able to see enough of the overlap. So I've kind of... this is always a choice when that I have to think about a little bit when I'm making a design span over multiple nails, because if you just put the design over the nails, you're going to be missing a chunk out of the middle, right? But if you space it too much, then it can look kind of awkward. So I always sort of have a little internal debate with myself about how much to space it out. It seems like it should just be a simple decision, but I always torture myself about it a little bit. Yeah, stamping as a guide is not something that I typically do, but in this particular case, I think it's a reasonable choice. I don't know if y'all can hear. I know Sassy often can hear better than other people, but Jammy Dodgers is like really doing a snore. It's very good. All right. And then we need, oh, I need to clean this again. We need the two side ones on the top. You wildly misplaced the initial stamp and let that guide your way. Yeah, that's also a very valid tactic. I'm trying to not let that be my tactic today, but I get it. Okay. And then the last one. I have absolutely had significant issues with centering designs on my nails. I like, for some reason, there's certain nails that every single time I manage to screw up the placement and go like, and it's always off to the same side, right? Like every time I do my thumbnail, it's always like too much to this side for some reason. Like, I don't know if I'm overcorrecting because I know I'm looking at it from this side a little bit, and so I'm overcorrecting. I don't know. But it seems to be a problem every time. All right, I don't know if y'all can see the ring guide on there or not. It looks like you can see it at least a little bit at certain angles. But that's what I'm working with. I can see it a little better than you can see it on the screen there. Okay. Oy. I need a sip. Okay. So I think that oof. Oh my God. I did the best dumping everything over on my desk thing the other day. I managed to spill so much cuticle oil. I have this like bottle of cuticle oil that I keep refilling from a much larger bottle. This is like the one that I'll fill it part way and then add my tea tree oil and my vitamin E to it. But yeah, I had it open, like just, it was, the cap was on it, but it was just resting on there. Fucking idiot. And I should know better, right? This is not my first rodeo. I have absolutely dumped that oil before, but I dumped it again. And wouldn't you know it, it made a hell of a mess. Gee willikers. Who could have predicted it? So I had to spend like half an hour cleaning oil off of everything. And there's still, everything I touch is just like a little oily. Like more than usual, like my nail desk is always a little bit oily, but it's extra oily right now. Everything is extra oily. Okay, so this one is Seek to Disrupt, and I'm going to use this one for the red ring, not because it's red, it definitely isn't, but because it's the least not red. In the velvet, when it's velvetized, it's the magnetic pigment is like the closest thing I've got to red out of these. And of course it's like completely green in the base. So depending on the angle, it's gonna look completely wrong or just slightly wrong. Which is perfect, right? It's exactly what we want. Listen, y'all. We're not experts here. We're just having a good time. We're just doing some ding-dang Olympics nails with what we've got. Maybe on the thumb and pinky, I could do something else that's not magnetic. I don't know. Like a little snow hill or something. Okay, we can at least see this ring now. And I think that that's beautiful. You're like a teenage boy who's just had a growth spurt. You have no concept of your reach. Yeah, I'm just clumsy. I'm just straight up clumsy. It's fine. It's whatever. I've been like this my entire life. I'm unlikely to change anytime soon. I do my best. The funny thing is that, like, there's lots of things where I can, you know, if I'm paying the slightest bit of attention, I have excellent hand-eye coordination. So that's not the problem. It's entirely an attention issue. I'm never paying quite as much attention as I really need to. Okay, I think I want to use this one for the green ring because it has a green magnetic line. Void Kitten has placed himself over your work keyboard. Yeah, it's a good thing you have 2 keyboards. That would not be great for productivity. All right. So this one goes over. I take it Void Kitten is getting along well with the other family members. I know that the cats have been getting along well. Kevin must be absolutely delighted with 2 kitties in the house. Is the kitty interacting well with Kevin? I hope so. Excellent at the small fiddly stuff, but walking through a doorway, you'll hit the frame every damn time. Yeah, that's me too. 100%. I am constantly bouncing my head off of things. Just like walking into shit. I have bruises all over me all the time. But yeah, I can do this. What is wrong? Getting better, and yeah, it's only been a week. Yeah, it's definitely early days, but you can tell at least at this stage whether there are going to be significant issues. You know, as long as nothing weird happens. Generally speaking, if they're doing well at this stage, then they're going to be fine. I almost forgot I have to do the other half of the ring here. All right. I'm gonna kind of try and stick to this side, like the inside of the guide for this ring, because I stamped it a little closer to this side than I really intended. By this side, I mean this side. That's going to be real helpful for anybody who's listening and not watching. Jammy Dodgers has such a good snore going. Oh my god, I totally freaking should have left a section out of the ring there, but oh well, that's fine. You walked into the doorway earlier while stream was on, yeah. You're maxed at 12 minutes for an oil soak. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure what I want to do, which one I want to do for the black. Let's see. If this one's going to be the yellow, and I think I wanted to use, which one was going to be the blue? Oh, it was going to be this one for the blue. I think. Yeah, this one for the blue. So that leaves Jewel of the Ball to use for the black, which is not in any way black, but it's just the default because the others are as close as I can get them. Oh my god, it's treats time. Maybe we can, not for me, for the cats.
Where's Budgie?
I think Budgie went into the bedroom, but maybe you can convince her to come to the hallway there, because I can aim the camera if you can get her. Oh my. Sorry, I'm just gonna, there's gonna be a bit of a mess here, but if you can get everybody at the window or at the doorway. We're gonna have a brief intermission for cats.
Jamie. Jamie. Jamie, your treats are over here. Jamie.
Jamie Dodgers. Jamie expects treats to come to her and just be poked into her mouth. She will just vacuum them up. It's not the best show. Hang on a second. We can do better than this. Jamie. Brian, give me more treats for Jamie. Give me more treats for Jamie. Yeah. Jamie's gonna have extra super bonus. Jamie, where'd you go? Oh my god. Jamie Dodgers, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Here. Come here. Jamie. Hey. Look. You see this? Good girl. Ready? Good girl. I sure hope that this is showing up on camera well. Okay, last one. Last one. Good girl. Oh. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What a good girl. She just got double treats. She got double treats. What a good kitty. What a good girl. She's she's so good. She's very cooperative when it comes to eating treats. Always happy to eat more of them. What do you think? Where are you going to go now? All right. I'm going to... Ooh, sorry. I should have switched that over. Apologies. I'm going to get back to this. And if Jamie settles into one of the usual napping spots, then I will move it. Treats time is so exciting. The young man gets treats as well now. Mr. Timony Cricket. He absolutely goes nuts for treats time. Just like Jamie and Budgie do. Cinna, no interest whatsoever. She could not give less of a fuck. We have offered her every kind of treat that we offer. She likes the wet kind, the churros. If I squeeze it out into a bowl for her, then she'll eat that. But that's it. She's otherwise completely uninterested. She's not super food motivated, which is funny because she's the only one of any of them, that has ever lived on the streets and not had regular access to food. But, the rest of them are all like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It's supper time. I'm so excited. Oh my God. Lose their ding dang minds. Okay. There's that one. Mr. Vexed is Brian. Yes, that is correct. Dr. Brian. Oh, I've got a message here from... I have to just respond to a message real briefly. I'm supposed to be meeting up with someone in about 20 minutes. Can we push back the meeting to 4:50? Yes, we can. No problem. There we go. All right, next one is going to be Iced Toad. Neither of your cats like treats. It's so weird you don't have anything to bribe them with. Yeah, it's a problem, right? Like if I want Jammy or Budgie or now Timony to be in a certain place or, go to a specific room, it's real easy to bribe them. In general, we don't use food for training stuff, but it is handy in a pinch if you just want to bribe them to be somewhere specific. So yeah. But Cinna, there's nothing I can do. If I want her to do something or to go somewhere, I cannot bribe her. I can force her, which sucks for both of us. Oh, that's not the right one. Oh my God. Y'all sat here using the wrong dang polish. Why didn't one of y'all tell me? Yeah, mostly we just sort of let Cinna do whatever the hell she wants. Jammy is the most food-motivated cat. She's one of the most food-motivated cats I've ever had in my life, actually. She's obsessed with treats. Did I see your question? I didn't. Is the EDM ghost something red mag? Maybe, but I've restricted myself. I'm trying to restrict myself this month to doing nail art only with polish from black makers. So, and Emily Damali, to my knowledge, does not qualify. So I'm not like being 100% strict. If I really need to, then I can. use something else, but I'd really rather not. I'm trying very hard to stick with this rule for myself for the month. So like the one thing where I know I'm going to have one polish that is not from a black maker is going to be the Fluid Art, because I don't have a Fluid Art polish from a black maker. And I don't have the DIY supplies to make my own. But the rest of the polishes, no problem. Okay. Yeah, there's so many more options if I don't restrict myself in that way. I have, an enormous collection. And I think, one of the nice things about this exercise for me is that it really drives home to me how much I have not been centering that as a factor in my purchasing, which is something that I want to actually correct. I want to mindfully correct that. Not that I'm like I'm not about to start buying polish that I'm not interested in just because the maker is black. But it does mean that I'm going to be actively thinking about can I get this from another brand? If I like this, can I get this from another brand? Does somebody else have this? And can I purchase something similar from a black maker? And I think that I already do that with just trying to purchase from independent artists, small retailers, whatnot. I try to think, can I get this somewhere local? Can I purchase this from someone who's an individual artist or maker? Can I get this at my local little Turkish grocer rather than ordering it online from Amazon, right? These are things that I try to think about on a regular basis. But I have not been actively thinking about it in the nail polish space beyond just, I would rather buy from an indie than from a mainstream brand. And so that's something I want to just be a little bit more mindful of. Okay, I think Jewel of the Ball was the one I'm going to use for this. Is that correct? I think so. Yeah. Wait, no. Nope. I've already used Jewel of the Ball. I'm using Icy Elegance for this one. Sitting there with a bottle of silicone oil. Yeah, if I had some, it would be nice. Holding the magnet and being precise. I mean, I don't know how precise I'm being, but this is, it's really uncomfortable holding the magnet like this, I gotta say. It's it kind of hurts my fingers a little bit, but all right. We're almost there, though. We're almost there. And I am going to have a little bit of extra time if I want to try to do a tiny bit of something else somewhere. I don't know, maybe... Oh! You okay, Jams? Did you try to jump up and not make it? I'm sorry, baby. Sometimes she has a little trouble. Do you need help? Yeah, did you try to jump up and you didn't quite get there? Come here. Okay. Come here, baby. Go ahead and lie down. Yeah. Most of the time, she does really well. And then every once in a while, she doesn't quite make a jump. She's an old lady. It's hard. She's an old lady and she's got arthritis. Are you good back there? You happy? She hasn't laid down yet. Laid down yet. Whatever. How does English work? How do words work? What are words? A new print specifically designed to be held. Yeah, that would be nice, eh? Yeah, it's not hard to find lots of cool stuff with if you're just restricting yourself to indies. There are, like, the vast majority of indie brands though are owned by white women, right? Which is fine. Like, you know, I am one. There's nothing wrong with us. But yeah, you do have to be a little bit more mindful if you're trying to move beyond that default. You're going to send some DIY fluid polish to Finland? Yeah, Emma Menma is in Finland, and they occasionally will send stuff back and forth there. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do top coat here, and not that one, this one. Gonna do top coat here and get this this velvet kind of settled on these, because these nails are going to be dunzo. Jamie, you don't need to be on my lap right now, do you? I would prefer if you didn't need to be on my lap. Yeah, it would be even more difficult overseas, I'm sure. At least here we have a number of options. Hey, Danny, welcome. We are doing some magnetic Olympics nail art, which has been a challenge. It has been a challenge, let me tell you. It's hard to see on my nails right now. I promise. I have the Olympic rings on here. They're not quite in their traditional colors because I have given myself so many added levels of difficulty with my nail art today. 1, magnetic only. 2, black-owned brands only. And so I have 6 magnetics to choose from. 7. Nope, 6. 6 magnetics to choose from. So 1 for the background and 5 for the rings. And they're not in the traditional Olympics rings colors, but that's okay. Because it's fine. It's working. It's working. It's working, question mark? It's working. Anyway, I'm just top coating these nails now. So I did the background in like a French tip style magnetization, and then did a water-based sealant over top of that, and now I'm doing the rings velvet. Thank you. You know, I think given the restrictions that I gave myself, they look pretty good. I am debating about whether I want to do something. I would have to step off of the magnetic only, though, if I'm going to do this, on the pinky and thumb to do a little bit of like a snowy something. But yeah, I would have to do that in not magnetics. But I can still stick to my black owned brands and do that. That would be fun. Given the restrictions, it's vibes. Yeah, no, I'm pretty pleased with how they've come out, and I think that when the light is right, they definitely hit. They're very much giving Olympic rings. It's challenging to see over the stream as well. It's like the lighting is suboptimal at best for that. But yeah, so if I was going to do something on the pinky and or thumb, the question is, what would I do? Oh my God. No, I don't want that. Sorry, I had to just say yup to a text. And so when I came back, YouTube was like, "Oh, don't you wish that this had played in the background?" And I'm like, "Just shut up, go away." An ice skater doing a triple axel, Olympic ski jumping. It's not that I don't think I can pull it off. She doesn't want to meet until 5 now. We were supposed to be meeting at 4:30. This is a neighbor of mine who's on our HOA board. Lovely woman. They're doing a project, a very cool project, in fact. She's been spearheading a lot of like environmental projects in our community and like grant writing and stuff, which is part of what she does for her job. But they're redoing, there's like a rock swale that goes through the middle of the community and has all the like drainage for like half the community goes into a sewer there that runs into a little like retaining pond, an overflow retaining pond. We're like right off of a wetlands. And so we're basically revamping that rock swale to make it do a better job of keeping silt and salt and crud out of the local river system. And so she's been spearheading that, and she just wants me to make a little info brochure thing for the community that she can pass around. But I didn't freehand the circle, Katya. I did not freehand the circle. I stamped it first, and then I freehanded over the existing stamp. So that was fine. I feel like the ski jumping would be fun, actually, Sassy. Yeah, starfish are difficult. Stars in like the 5-pointed stars, so much harder than I would ever expect. Okay, there's our Olympic rings. Vibes, vibes. What if... Wait. Okay, hang on. I have a maybe potentially cute idea. All right. I need... Where's my crinkled linens? Time to go. Okay. I have crinkled linens. This is my cracked, very slightly off-white. What if on the thumb... I did... Stay with me here. What if on the thumb I did like a 2, 0, 2. Oh boy. Lint. 6, but like not as shitty as this. And then have like in a different color, have like a little skier with his little skis coming off the top of that. What do we think about that idea? We got a budgie smuggler. Holy heck. Holy heck, we got a budgie smuggler. We have been blessed with a smuggler. What do we think about that? Is that cute or is that stupid? If the lettering is the jump. Budgie, such a good girl. I love my old ladies. Obviously, the skier itself would be in different colors. All right. I got 3 votes for cute, so we're going to do it. We're going to do it, y'all. I just got to figure out exactly how I want to lay it out. So I think the way it's going to work best is if I... Oh, Budgie. She's so old. I love her so much. My baby girl. Yeah, I think the way it's going to work best... Well, yeah. No, I think I'm going to do it so that the 2026 reads this way rather than this way. Although, here's the thing. Okay. I'm so indecisive. Here's the thing. I can get more vertical if I do it this way. Let me take a look at a reference photo. Yeah, they get like real aligned with their skis. Can you show me? Okay, so it's not super uphill at that point. They're like they're angled just a little bit. So yeah, I think we're going to do it vertically or like horizontally rather. Your oldest is the same age as me this month. That's awesome. That's hilarious. Yeah. I assume you're talking about your puppers since I'm pretty sure you don't have human larvae. So please tell your pupper I said bork, bork, bork. Happy bork, bork. I'm going to be 12 and a half, which is only slightly less exciting than turning 50. Can I do it diagonally? I mean, I can. I'm just not sure which way I would want to do it. The other thing is, do I want the skier jumping off the 2 or do I want the skier jumping off the 6? It kind of makes more sense to have them jumping that way, right? Have them jump off the 6. So if I did it diagonally, I could do 2, 0, 2, 6, and the jumper coming up toward the tip. It's an option. Can make the first 2 the largest part of the slope and the 6 would be the smallest. Punks, It's an even year. I have to be either on or a half. I can make the first two the largest part of the slope, and the sixth would be the smallest. I'm trying to think how that would work. I'm not sure I have the vision for the layout. What does a ski jump track even look like from a distance? That's a question that I should probably answer first. They go mostly down, eh? They go mostly down and then a little bit up at the end. It's a lot down and then a little bit up. So the overall slope, from what I can see, looks something more like a lot down and then a little up, and then the jumper is like here. Is that right? Oh, sorry. Let's go back to nails up display. So it would be the 2, 0, 2, 6, and the jumper coming off the 6. I think that is consistent with what I'm seeing online. And also with physics. Okay, so in that case, it would be, if I went 2, 0, 2, 6, and then skier. Does this work better if it's actually done in negative space, so that I have the shape of the slope in white and then the lettering is the exposed background? It might work better that way. If I can... You don't understand why I can't see into your mind? Yeah. Yep. Okay, y'all. We're just gonna go with it. We're just gonna go for it. We're just gonna do it. We're gonna cross our fingers. We're gonna have some faith. And I don't know, maybe if we're real lucky, we won't fuck it up. What do you think about that? Okay. I want the 6 to be around here, because that's going to be my little ramp up. Okay. Y'all don't know what you've begun. There's my 6. Now we need a 2. And it's got to be little enough that it works for the slope, but it's got to be readable enough as well. So that's kind of a challenge, but I think we're up to it. We got this. Okay. Yeah, see, we can do this. We can do this, y'all. We can absolutely do this. Okay. It doesn't matter that it looks more like a Z than like a 2. That's fine. Whoa, you haven't done negative space? I mean, have I ever done negative space? Not quite like this, I don't think. But, this is going to have to be a kind of a skinny 0. You know, I just believe that I can figure it out, and then sometimes I manage it. That zero should have been over further, but it's too late now. It's too late now. It's too late, baby, now. It's too late. Meow, 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 meow. Listen. You don't come here for the singing. I provide that as a free service. So you should just appreciate it, right? How the fuck am I going to do a 2 here and make it look anything like a 2? That's the question. That's the question. I guess we'll just go like this and hope that people figure out what it's supposed to be, right? People will figure out what it's supposed to be, surely. Surely people will figure it out. It's not that difficult. We got this. Y'all are smarter than I look. I think you can figure it out. Okay. We'll just get all the way to the edge there. I don't know. I don't know if it looks like a 2026, but I think people can figure out the 2, the leading 2 from context. I am going to do a tiny little bit of cleanup here. Because I cut that off a little bit more than I really wanted to. And then I think I'm going to bring this out a little bit more. I really hope that at least some of you are able to hear Jammy Dodgers snoring, because it's real good. You know what? If people can read graffiti, they can read this. That's what I think. If people can read heavy metal band name t-shirts, they can read this. Just gonna smooth this out a little bit. All right, so there is our ski jump, and now we just need a little friend going off the jump. Sylvia, I never doubted you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Orc, you can figure it out. Punks, I love your typos. They're really, really good. Hello, Helen. Welcome. Pinky, I am so glad that you were able to join the stream. It's really nice to have you here. I'm going to try and start doing regular Tuesday afternoon streams at the same time. So it'll be 2 p.m. my time. I don't know what time that is for you, but, you know, hopefully a time that you're most of the time able to attend. So, although, you know, you don't need to feel obligated. All right. Now, my little person. What will my little person be wearing? My little ski jumper. Should we do mostly white with like... If I do a white base, then it'll be easy to add colors on top. In fact, I can do a white base and maybe even do magnetics on top, although that might be more than I'm really willing to suffer through at the moment. Red and white for Canada. I don't know. Is Canada doing okay in the ski jumping? I don't follow. I don't really follow any of the Olympic stuff, to be honest. I used to when I was a kid. I think I was talking about this the other day on one of the Discord servers. But my mom was super into figure skating back in like the late 80s and the 90s. And I really clearly remember watching a lot of figure skating with my mom. Okay, so we're going to have this little jumper. It's going to be like, their little bodies are really kind of just, got a little arm back there. Got a little helmet here. Got their legs are like somehow bent at the weirdest freaking angle. I don't know how they do that. And then ski. And I think they're supposed to be reasonably aligned, but I feel like I can see a slight difference, maybe just because of the camera angle on some of these. Can I make that visible without it being weird? Yeah, that kind of works. Okay. And they don't carry any poles or anything. They're just... I didn't go quite far enough back here, given where their little leggies are attached. There. It's not the perfect angle for coming off that ramp, but you know, it's fine. It's fine. You can tell that it's a ski jumper. You can tell that it's a ski jump. I think that's good enough. Now I do want to... yeah, the body being basically parallel to the skis is freaking wild. Do I want to add color? Or do I like it just being the silhouette? That's a question. I'm kind of not mad at, I'm mad about the idea of it just being a silhouette. They do need to be thickened up a little bit here though, because that's a real, there we go. That's a little better. They had a real janky torso there. Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun like that. I think I like it like this. I think we'll leave it. Ski jumping is terrifying. They just go down the almost vertical slope and fly. The record is something like 254 meters. Holy shit. That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm not translating that. I don't know how to translate. It's a little bit off of 3 feet per meter. It's the closest I can get you to. I'm sorry, Americans. You're going to have to figure it out yourselves. It's like a yard per meter-ish, approximately, but approximately. Over that distance, it would be enough to make a difference. But I'm not doing that math. Okay, I think I'm going to call it here. I think this is it. I was thinking about putting something on the pinky as well, but I kind of feel like I don't know what I do that wouldn't just be gratuitous. Like, I can't think of anything that I would put on there that would add to the overall design. So I think that means I should just leave it. For my Americans, a regular house door is 2 meters. Americans will measure in anything but metric. A triple axle. What does a triple axle look like again? Maybe. Let me see. I mean, I don't think you can tell the difference between a triple and a double axle or quadruple axle when they're in the air in a static image. That's going to be a challenging pose, I feel. Olympic flame on the pinky. Maybe. What's the Olympic torch look like? Olympic. Hello? Olympic. Olympic torch. It's just a torch. That could work. 254 meters is 277 yards. Do any Americans know how far 277 yards is, though? Can we get that in football fields? How many football fields is that? How many American football fields is that? I could do the torch. The torch could be cute. That would work as a silhouette. I wish we used metric. It's so easy. I'm 45 and can't remember how many feet are in a mile. Yeah, I mean, it's impossible. You know how many meters are in a kilometer? I bet you do. I bet even though you're American, you know how many meters are in a kilometer. Yeah, you know what? I don't hate the idea. Let's do it. Let's do a little Olympic torch. Let's do a little Olympic torch. That makes sense to me as a balancing item. It's a simple enough silhouette that I can make it obvious what it is. I like that plan. That was a good thought, Pinky. I thought you were leaving. Oh, it was Sylvia that said that. Sorry. I'm giving Ponks credit for what Sylvia said because I read the word pinky in the suggestion. And Pinky was here earlier. So my brain is doing super well today. That's one excellent way to tell. All right, I think maybe we start the slightly fancy part of the torch here. There we go. Oh, I've gone a little off center, but that's okay. I think it's fine. A little Olympic torch. A football field is 100 yards, so it's like almost 4... Wait, what did you say? No, it's 277 yards. So 2 3/4 football fields. There you go. There you go, Americans. This reminds you of the time Linry forgot how to write the number 4. Oh yeah, totally. That is fully a thing that I would do, that I probably have done. It's the brains do not brain well at the best of times, And when you're streaming, it is known among all streamers that that you get extra stupid. You get extra stupid when you stream. All right, I think I'm going to do it so that the flame is like slightly off the surface. Windidimus, hello, welcome. You just got home from taking your kiddo to a new therapist. Not sure it'll be a good fit. Oh dear. Well, that's unfortunate. Sadly, they are not all created equal, and they are not all the right fit for everybody. It would be real nice if there was a way to tell in advance whether or not someone was going to be helpful for your specific situation and personality. Okay, I need to switch to a thinner brush here, or I'm going to have regrets. Okay. Itty bitty brush. Itty bitty brush. I wonder if I want to kind of go like that. And then like a little thing up there. And a little spitty bit right here. I think that's giving flame. Now I've got the song Eternal Flame in my head, which I suspect most of you are not old enough to really know that one super well. Blame it on the polish fumes. It's not the polish fumes. I wish that it was the polish fumes, but it's not the polish fumes. It's definitely the split focus. It's too many. Your brain is trying to do too many things at the same time. And I know this because it happens to all kinds of streamers who do not have the polish fumes excuse. All right, that needs to dry a little bit before I can put the seal glaze on it. That one had seal glaze and is dry enough for top coat. Pardon me. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, y'all. This was not what I expected to be doing with this couple of hours. I fully expected that either y'all would choose Valentine's and Magnetic, or that you would have done Olympic rings or Olympics and fluid art. But you went and chose Olympics and Magnetics, which means that on Thursday night, it's going to be Valentine's and fluid art. So that should be fine. Did the rings get seal glaze? They didn't, because they were not going to run. They got regular top coat. They've already been top coated. So the base, so I did the magnetic base, just in case anybody wasn't here for this. So I know a few people weren't here for this. The base is, I had 2 coats of Midnight Phase from Cracked and then 1 coat of Glittersys Pensive Skies Silver Linings, magnetized with the like French tip style. So I used a horseshoe magnet. I actually used this one and just like slid it along until I was seeing a nice effect on the tip. So that, and then on top of that, I first stamped to get a guide. Well, wait, before I did that, I actually used seal glaze on top of the magnetic so that I wouldn't have to worry about it remagnetizing and messing up that alignment when I did the next stuff afterward. So then I stamped the rings with one of the magnetic polishes that was very, very faint, just to give myself a guide. And then I hand painted over top of that with 5 different magnetics. So I used Cracked Icy Elegance, Cracked Iced Toad. I think the next one was Cracked Jewel of the Ball, and then 1002 nails. Some Call It Magic, and Cracked Seek to Disrupt. That was in order. And then this, for the white, I am using Cracked Crinkled Linens. This one I got in PR. The rest of them were all purchased, but this one I got in PR. Just need to say that. Sylvia, you are old enough and you can't believe I just infected you with an earworm. I'm very sorry. But shit happens. I don't know what to tell you. It's a sad, sad life. You can pass it on to someone if that helps. If that makes you feel better, you can pass it along. Okay, I do think this is dry enough for seal glaze on that. Just to make sure I don't smudge that. And that's going to be it. I'm just going to put a regular top coat on top of that once it's dry. I'm going to take some photos and then we're going to be done. And I actually have to skedaddle because I'm supposed to be meeting my neighbor in 2 minutes to discuss that pamphlet she wants me to make. So thank you all for coming and hanging out with me and helping me design this super fun little nail art thing. A special shout out to Sassy for the extremely fun ski lift or ski jump idea that ended up being a lot of fun. So yeah, we're going to start doing the Tuesday afternoon thing pretty regularly. I don't know if it's going to be every single week, but I definitely want to do it regularly. So it's going to be probably most weeks. I am still going to be doing the Thursday night nail streams. So this week, Thursday is going to be Valentine's Fluid Art. All right. Don't forget to hit all the buttons and everything. And the Discord link, if you want to join my Discord, is down in the description. And tell all your friends about the hippopotamuses. All right. Thanks.